station.
With a personality shaped by being an athlete and a background in mainstream sports media, I found that the stories I was most interested in telling were the ones often overlooked, the ones that might not otherwise be told, the ones that show the intangible and not just the highlight reel. The Sports Council is about highlighting the great, the good, the unique, and everything in between in the Pacific Northwest sports world. I'm Jamie Council. Thanks for joining me.
You're listening to the Sports Council on 1340 ESPN, the Tri-Cities leader in sports.
Gary Jonas, I'm the head girls basketball coach at Chiawana High School.
So first year taking over the program, pretty good program to take over.
Yeah, absolutely. Just being on the boys' side, you get a feel watching the girls' games, and yeah, there was some pieces there that I saw right away, and I was excited to have that opportunity.
And talk about
California. So I had some experience doing that, and I think that helped with the interview process, just having that experience, and then being on the boys' side the last 10, 11 years with Coach Heron. And gosh, when you're around that guy, you can't help but be a sponge and pick things up. His basketball mind is the greatest I've ever been around, and so I was blessed to be around him for so many years and pick up on so many great basketball items, really. So,
where in California?
Southern California, just outside of San Bernardino. Riverside, Rialto, and then Hesperia up in the high desert area.
Okay,
Yeah,
yep, Hesperia Lake, good fishing there.
Yeah, exactly, good call.
Yeah, I did 1 year at CSUSB.
Oh, wow,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
it's a small world.
Yeah, I actually got my master's there. That's really funny.
Go Yotes.
Right? Good call.
And so with that being said, taking over this program, you know a little bit of what to expect having been close to the program, but now that you're in it and getting into your first season, what's it been like?
Well, we started in the spring, and so I was lucky enough to kind of get that started early on, and I met with every single returning player before I actually interviewed, and I just wanted to talk to them about the position. I wanted to get their listening to these young ladies and how bright they are. Obviously, they're incredibly gifted basketball-wise, but it was great just getting to know them a little bit more one-on-one with just some conversations. And yeah, it was exciting. And then the summer hit, and it's full go, right, for about 5 weeks. And gosh, we just had a ton of success. The kids kind of bought in real quickly, and they understood what the expectation was going to be and how hard they needed to play. And talent-wise, they're there. It was just adding some of those pieces of playing harder, getting the ball to the right person at the right time, just kind of have some of that basketball knowledge stuff. So.
Yeah, the girls talked about one of the highlights of almost their whole high school career was going to the Gonzaga camp, and they said it was fun because they were doing really good.
Yeah,
it's always fun winning.
Yeah, I mean, we had a ton of success all summer. I think we won the Davis tournament. We won the Kent Ridge tournament over in Seattle area. We won the Gonzaga team camp. We went undefeated up there, and yeah, I think we only lost like once, twice, maybe 3 times all summer. And so, yeah, they had a ton of success this summer.
High expectations, and we already know some of the key pieces, the returners, but just talk a little bit about the faces that the pieces that people can see with the Chiawana girls basketball team.
Show up all of a sudden, and then the 3 freshman kids that are with us, they're incredibly talented. Some of these juniors that can play, that have experience here, and yeah, you could go really all through all 10, and they're pretty dang talented. They really are.
Yeah, I mean, you take a look, a freshman point guard last year. you guys were really young this year. Or last year, incredibly young.
Incredibly young, yeah. I mean, and this year, we don't even have any seniors this year. And so you could say that we are still pretty young. I mean, Giannis, who you're talking about, the freshman kiddo last. Extremely talented. She plays on the Tree of Hope, that Nike circuit team out of Seattle.
And you kind of answer my next question of talking about Maldonado's move here. Just kind of go over that because it's kind of fun to track those kind of things where people go from different high schools.
Yeah, I didn't even know the name before I even interviewed, and I went through the interview process, and the athletic director and our principal said, "Hey, we got a guy that you need to add to your staff. He's pretty impressive," kind of thing. And he had actually interviewed for the same position, and it was Bailey's dad. And so I just gave him a call, and I said, "Listen, I'm going to have some positions to fill on my staff. I'd love to get to know you." Sat and talked, basketball for a long time, and really he was the fit. It had nothing to do with Bailey at the beginning. Because I had never even seen her play. I didn't know. People had talked about her. I'm like, I think we're okay even without her, obviously. And then she shows up in our gym for the summer and got cleared and did everything she needed to. And wow, her talent level's impressive. Her basketball IQ is incredible. And having those older sisters that played college basketball, you can see that special. She really is. And she's fit in. She's one of the most humble kids I've ever been around. She's incredibly humble, 4.0 kid. She's just impressive to just be around. I've already heard from some of her teachers about how humble she is. She comes in, does the job in the classroom as well, and yeah, those parents have done it well. They really have.
And talk about the process of changing schools. It's not like somebody can just decide, I want to be a Lion this year. I want to be a Brave. So, some people it might look like that, but just talk about that process.
Yeah, I know it was a lot on the family, right? They had to move. They've got a house now that's just down the road from Malia Ruud. And watching them go through the whole process and the conversations that I was constantly having with Coach Maldonado about having to go through it all summer long. In fact, missed a turn. There's a lot, but they're such an incredible family that you can just sense, especially when I talked to Rick, that everything was going to be okay in their eyes. And so, yeah. And she's welcomed on campus. Our girls here did a great job welcoming her. Her humbleness helps with that, right? Her personality helps with that. You can't help but love the kid if you're just around her. So that helped.
Yeah, and what is your coaching style?
Oh, geez, coaching style. Accountability. Being in class, we run for tardies. They miss a class, they don't practice, they don't play that day. And so that's probably the first part, and that took some getting used to for them, was having and being held accountable for everything. And we don't walk on our floor, for example. The expectation is very high with me, and so I guess kind of those two things. Accountability, high expectations, that's kind of what I like to think that I'm known for. So.
And what do you think your biggest challenge will be this year, whether that be as a coach or whether that be in the locker room?
The locker room is going to be fine. These kids come and they'll have lunch with me, things like that. They're just in my room, and we've built already a pretty good bond, and it just continues to grow. So that I don't think will be an issue at all. Biggest challenge? Gosh, we told these kids as the summer kept going that they're going to have a target on their back, and we kind of knew it, especially going up to Gonzaga. People were talking about us, and I just told them you better embrace it, because we're not going to run from it. You can't hide from it, and so you better just embrace that target and enjoy it, because that's what makes it fun. There's nothing better than Friday night heading over to Kaia or heading over to Richland, and their crowd's going to be into it, and they're going to be yelling at them and things like that. It's just a lot of fun, right? And to enjoy it, but there comes a responsibility with that as well. Now you've got to practice. Yeah.
And it's hard to hide when you're 6'2".
It is. Kaia will tell you she's like 6'3.5" with her bun. Malia loves to say she's 6'3", yeah. It is definitely difficult to hide, though, at 6'3", 6'2", yeah, no doubt about it.
And I want to talk about those two for a minute because Malia, she's had eyes since she was a freshman, and Kaia, all of a sudden, it's like, wow, she just came out of nowhere, it seemed. And I
knew that. No, I knew
it
that.
was more of they're juniors.
Yeah.
You don't have any seniors,
No.
so they're having to. I mean, they're big enough, but they're having to step into bigger shoes than you normally would as a junior.
Absolutely, yeah. And some of those shoes, that part of that is that leadership position, right? They're naturally thrown into it because they're really good, and kids are going to look up to them naturally. That's just what happens. And so I've actually talked to them quite a bit about filling that role and what does that look like and what kind of teammate does that have to be in every situation. From the I need to rely on them to really just be leaders. But it's not just them, right? I mean, you could talk someone like Maricela, who does a really good job with what we ask her to do, right? And her role. And she leads our warm-ups, for example, every single day because she just has some really good leadership qualities. You could talk about Mia, Eva Thompson. I mean, my goodness, I could go on and on about this junior class, and it's a special group. It really is. So it's exciting to be around them. It really is.
I would say Eva Thompson last year was a player that improved the most throughout the season, where at the beginning she wasn't really getting in much, and by the end she was a solid bench player.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And she went through a lot of injuries in her early on high school career, from a back surgery, I believe it was a surgery, or back problems at the very least, to just finally feeling healthy. You're right, I saw it on film. I've watched every game that they played on film multiple times now, and you do see that progression that she started to have. And she's going to have a role with us. Number one, she's tough. She's just one of our toughest kids. She will sit down, she'll defend like crazy. She's very vocal. So yeah, I see a role for her absolutely as this season progresses, yeah.
And what are names on the Riverhawks that people might not know, but they should?
Yeah, Jordan Mayne's one of the names that comes to mind. She's a freshman. She's about 5'10", 5'11", incredibly athletic. We couldn't keep her off the floor this summer because she played so hard, and that's a name that everybody's going to know. It just is, yeah.
They're going to learn real quick.
Yes, they are. Yeah, yeah.
And go Malia, because I've covered them since they were a freshman, and even before this we're talking, you're like, oh, are they okay? I'm like, yeah, it's I know what to expect.
Yeah.
We'll start with Malia.
Okay.
She's playing for, Samoa national team. We counted her recruiting, and I think it was 9. And so it's kind of hard. It isn't, because she knows where her head's at, but for a player like that, it might be hard to stay at Chiawana mentally. So I guess with her as a player, sometimes it's hard to coach somebody like that. So what is something you're working on with her most, or her role?
Yeah, she's different. She's just different in that way where I don't worry about that kind of stuff. She's very well grounded. Her parents have done an incredible job with her. They really have, and they're phenomenal people as well. Your smile. You're always smiling. You're just happy-go-lucky. She's going to be an incredible addition to any college locker room. She really is. And then obviously the talent speaks for itself. I mean, last year MVP of the league with the Richland young lady, and yeah, Malia just brings.
Riley Fox is doing good at the next level.
Yeah, decent, right? Down there at Fresno, yeah.
Yep, and Anna working at the school, and she played at UW, so there's some good genes there as well.
Yeah.
And then Kaia, this is the fun one for me because I see she's so quiet, like they're so opposite, and personally, I want to see her come out of her shell a little bit more on the court.
Yeah.
Is that something that you've been working with her?
It is, yeah. We talked about it all summer, right? Just finding that next motor for her. She's incredibly gifted. She really is. And sometimes the game comes really easy for her. And she doesn't realize sometimes that she's 6'3", right? She plays at times much smaller. She's just learning how to play at that level. And it's progressing. We're seeing it. We saw it as the summer went on. She started to play a lot harder. She would block more shots, rebound much better as the summer went on. On our campus, she's similar to Malia in that way. They're just kind of the face of the program. They just are, and they have been, right, since they were freshmen and since they walked on campus. And she's the same way. She is funny as could be. Once you get to know. And yeah, they're both. It's funny because you get them together and it's just goofiness.
Yeah, they said they've been playing since they were in first or second grade.
Yes,
and no, she's always stood out to me because covering high school players, sometimes it's very separated where, but Kaia's always one that says, hey, Jamie, what's up? And, that's something that as adults you recognize.
Yeah, you do, yeah. We just had Tulsa's, one of their top assistants was in our gym Monday. And she's gotten to know Kaia really well through the recruiting process. And they saw each other, and it's this big hug, right? And so it kind of caught me off guard to see that that's that next level that you can get to with Kaia. Once that initial quietness once you get past that a little bit, it was just, that's Kaia, right? People that get to know her. The right way, whether it's academics and on the floor, we're still working through some of that of how to play harder, things like that, but her heart's in the right place all the time. It just is.
Exactly. There's that trust factor, I would say, through that.
Yeah.
And have you guys talked goals at all? You said expectations are high. What does goal setting look like for your program?
Yeah, we have our goals as a team, Jamie. We have our goals, and those are our goals, and we'll keep what those goals are. But yeah, they're high expectations, absolutely. We want to practice daily what average teams do occasionally, and that's just the reality of it. And so our practices are really hard, and the girls have already gotten used to that 3 days in now, and so that's the daily goal. And if we do that, we believe the goals will take care of itself.
Well, I respect that answer, and I'm looking forward to covering you this season.
I appreciate it, Jamie. Thank you so much for being here.
You're listening to Jamie Council on the Sports Council.
My name is Malia Ruud. I am a junior, and I am a versatile forward/post.
Ooh. Hi, my name is Kaia Foster. I'm a junior, and I play guard.
So, junior year, new coach. How you guys feeling?
Feel good. I mean,
Very excited.
we love Jonas. He's a great guy. I definitely feel like he's brought a lot of energy. He's bringing a lot of energy towards us, and higher expectations this year for us.
And our team obviously has all this potential, and we're just reaching it more and more as practice goes on. So.
Yeah, I feel like with you guys just coming into this season, everybody's kind of looking at Chiawana because, you've been playing meaningful minutes since a freshman, and then last year it's just like, wow, like you guys are like the dynamic duo. So have you heard that one before?
Yeah.
Oh, what are the names? Is it dynamic duo, or what do people call you guys?
I feel like we get Twin Towers a little bit sometimes. Yeah.
I didn't know if Twin Towers is I didn't know if it's politically correct, because one time I called the two girls from Ellensburg the Twins Towers, where they were 6'6" and 6'4".
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, but feeling as you guys have, like you said, some expectations.
The general feeling, definitely having a target on our back. We have some unfinished business to achieve.
But it'll grow on us, I feel like, over time. And starting practice Monday, I feel like we definitely brought a lot of energy, so I could see a lot of potential within us.
How did you guys prepare for this season in the off season? Malia, I know you were really busy.
Yeah, so in September I went to Australia and Papua New Guinea and played for Team Samoa, and they're in the Solomon Islands right now, but couldn't make it there. But we have high school season starting for sure, so definitely training, keeping busy in the gym too, getting lots of reps so we don't miss easy shots, stuff like that.
We also did a lot of open gym stuff throughout the summer, and mainly in June. We went to a couple team camps. We did tournaments up in Seattle, played against some like state finishing teams up there. Did really well. I think we finished like 30-4 throughout the whole summer. So that definitely shined a light on us, I felt, and put a target on us through this beginning of the season. So I think as long as we maintain to stay high energy in practice, it will just fall to the games.
Yeah, people
a little bit before
the end of the school year, before we had our like summer tournaments. I want to say like late May, early June, maybe, is when we learned, and then we've just been establishing that connection and getting all the chemistry with our team since then as well, which is really helpful.
Yeah, and how has he been settling in? You know, it's always tough getting a new coach, as well as, like you mentioned, a young team. You had a freshman starting point guard for most of the year. So I guess how have you guys all been gelling together?
I'd say we've been gelling really, really well, especially like in the open gym and practice. Again, just establishing that chemistry. But we have a lot of talented freshmen this year too that we added to the team, which just brings it to another level.
I feel like Jonas is really well with communication, and so that brings a lot of communication. I think it's really big, and he's really focused on that. He likes our opinion. He likes to know what we want, what we think is needed, and that kind of like built over the summer, I think. A lot with he was still trying to figure everything out, but we were like helping him along the way, and then it was kind of just a lot of like coming together and feeling at like what we all wanted, you know. So yeah.
Making his coaching style work with the personnel on the team.
Yes.
And it's funny when you talk about personnel, you guys are very similar as far as the fact of, like you mentioned, Twin Towers, but very different people. Yeah. It's kind of funny because knowing each one of you, you guys are so different yet, you know, very, very similar. What's your guys' relationship like, where you guys have been playing meaningful minutes? You know, you guys are kind of the face of Chiawana.
Me and Malia have known each other for a very
Since second
long
grade
time.
rec league.
Yeah, so I think that chemistry over time is
first.
I don't remember, YMCA ball, something like that. But I feel like over time our chemistry has built, like just playing AAU, YMCA ball even, like just even high school, all that stuff, different sports, playing volleyball together. I definitely think that our chemistry has built a lot, and it's just insane how we bond and like know what we're gonna do and spend literally the whole summer together, staying in the same house, same bed sometimes, even if like there's not enough room. But I mean, I love Malia. I know she's always there for me when I need her, so that trust is.
Yeah. Again, we've played together for such a long time, so like part of it is guarding each other in practice. We can kind of read each other a little bit more than like I feel like not really other people can, but like we just know each other like that well. Like I could be like, oh, she's gonna go right, oh, like cut her off, stuff like that, and she knows stuff like that about me. So it's just that connection has been there for so long, so we have like a little bond.
Last year you had a black eye. Was that from her?
No.
I
Okay.
did give her a black eye one time though, freshman year. Remember that in practice?
No, my elbow.
I don't know.
It was something.
Okay. I didn't ask you last year who gave you the black eye.
Yeah, no, that wasn't from Kaia, but hopefully I don't get one from her soon. Knock on wood.
And playing with each other, like I said, you guys are very similar and very different at the same time. Malia, I'll start with you. What have you learned in the sport from Kaia?
From Kaia, definitely I've learned, like, from seeing her, she can just have a quick release on the three. So if I get doubled, I can quickly kick it out to her and she'll drain that three right in your face. So it's good to know, like, if I'm getting doubled, she's kind of my go-to person sometimes if I see her wide open. And then also just, like, communicating too is a big part of the game, I'd say. So.
And what about you, Kaia? Same question, except for with Malia.
Like I said, if I somehow can't get the front ball or can't get open, sometimes if I'm down the post, she'll be like, oh, I know what Kaia's going to do right here. And she'll be in position to help me if I need it. But I think we just kind of build off each other a lot. We could both play the same position. We could both be a guard. We could both be a post. Knowing when
What is something this year that you're working on most from a player perspective? Like, what do you want to get better at?
I want to be more of not a shooter, a scorer. I want to be not towards the basket. Definitely get in the paint more, rebound, post up, do that type of stuff. Be a defender, steal the ball, use my length as an advantage. I think over time people have known me just as a shooter, and I think I've been building on that. Yeah.
Well, I feel like you also grew really fast, where it's just like, who is Kaia? And all of a sudden, like, you're a tree out there, which in a good way, that's a good thing in basketball. And so now you're trying to kind of fill this role that not everybody can fill, because not everybody can be 6'2".
I think it's just using my length. I've been working on that, and I didn't do a good job at it last year, I don't think. I kind of shot the ball, even though, I could shoot over people, but using my muscle and my length to get to the rim is very, like, unbeatable sometimes if I figure it out. So I think that's definitely one thing I've been working on throughout this whole summer. Yeah.
And what about you, Malia?
I still want to maintain my post game, but also getting a little more versatile, along with perimeter defense, like cutting off my defender before they can get by me. But also, still maintaining that versatility, being able to dribble to the hoop, and what else?
Shooting the three?
Oh yeah, shooting the three for sure. Shoot that open three, and just getting more comfortable with that is a good thing too.
Yeah, and junior season, it's a big season when it comes to recruiting. You guys got lots of views as a sophomore, so you guys are right in the perfect spot. And Malia, like, I know you're all over Twitter of I'm visiting this school, that school. So what are your goals for that next step?
For that next step? Well, I'm just trying to play my game, and I'm deciding in spring where I want to go. So just getting those opportunities, seeing all the places, but also just staying focused in my season as well. So
you're still a Riverhawk.
Yeah.
Yeah, and where all do you have offers to?
Where what?
Where all do you have offers to?
Eastern, Montana State, University of Montana, UC San Diego, UC Santa Barbara, University of Hawaii, WSU, Boise State.
You just were at Boise State, so if you didn't mention that one, I was like about to ask you about that one. Yeah, I think she started with that.
Oh, University of Idaho, yeah.
Okay, There you go. And what about you? What are your goals for that next step?
I think right now college is a big step forward. Finding the perfect college for me, same play style of college, being able to play the position that I want to play in college and not something that I haven't played before, that's a big deal. I think Staying close to home, somewhat close to home, is what I want. So my parents can come to games. I think they're the biggest supporters I have. So that's big to me. Finding a college where I just feel home. Like, I just feel like home, you know?
And I'm sure your mom would appreciate that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she would.
Abby.
Yeah, Abby.
And for your ideal, you don't want to play anybody else's game, you want to play your game, but you're also changing your game.
Yes.
So what is Kaia Foster's game?
Scorer. I mean, a guard. I'd say guard, yeah. 2, 3, 4. Anywhere in between that, I think, is preferably it's my position, yeah.
Every now and then you can go in the post.
That's a 4.
No, but like she
4.
has the skills.
I had it. But yeah.
And do you know career-wise what you want to do?
I kind of just leaning towards business. That's kind of what I'm just feeling right now. It's the easiest step. Or not the easiest, but it's like the most...
It's wide. It's the most
very
versatile.
wide, yeah.
Looking back, I wish I had taken a couple more business courses because...
Varieties of business out of it, yeah.
Yeah. And I already know the answer, but you know what? I asked the questions here. What about you, Malia?
I want to be a sportscaster. So sports broadcasting or like having to do with sports marketing too. Like I took a sports marketing class here. I'm actually taking it and it was really fun. You got to learn about all the sports and entertainment stuff, a lot of the industry. But I like talking. I like talking on the camera. I like sometimes I do assemblies here and it's really fun for me. So being a commentator or a sportscaster would be my dream job.
But basketball first.
Yeah.
And what is your favorite memory as a Riverhawk so far?
Just knowing all the girls the different years too. How memorable seasons every time, but definitely like this year, this team, we have something special. So just all the players that I've gotten to meet throughout this and play with, and just playing for my school too is just a really big thing.
Yeah. And what about you, Kaia?
I'd say definitely Gonzaga team camp this summer was one of the best.
Unforgettable.
It was really fun. We played really well down there. We kind of caught onto each other for a little bit after the last couple of games. We were just killing the crap out of teams, and I think that's definitely up there. We have a lot of potential this year, so I'm super excited. Hope people come out, watch us, see what we can do. I'm excited, yeah.
Well, best of luck this season, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're listening to 1340 ESPN, your Tri-Cities leader in sports. Now we go back to your originally scheduled Seattle sports programming.
Like, it's that type of chemistry that we have. Sorry.
I don't think anybody was around here. Sticky floor.
Happened yesterday. Okay, also like I was gonna say like just learning the plays. If we're doing spots that we wouldn't regularly be in, we can help each other off that. Also sorry, I'm a little distracted right now.
Yeah. Well, we can move on to the next question.